Jack Burton and the Pork Chop Express, and I'm talking to whoever's listening out there.
And as the intro told you, this is the Escape from New York review. This film came out in 1986. It was filmed in 1985 with a budget of $25 million, and it only made $11 million, which is a damn shame because this film is one of John Carpenter's best. And I say this as someone who is a John Carpenter connoisseur, if you will. I've been watching John Carpenter films for years. The good ones, the bad ones, the in-between ones. I like all of them, especially his more out there films. I'm talking his first film, which was Dark Star, then Halloween, then Escape from New York, The Thing, Escape from Precinct 137 or 187, something like that. I can't remember. The Prince of Darkness. Obviously, They Live, which I'll do a review of in the future. And of course, this one, Big Trouble in Little China. Now, here's the thing. There was a time when John Carpenter and Jack Russell came together, you had some good stuff going on. Basically any hero with a mullet. So without further ado, let's get into what this film is about after the cut. Okay then, the plot of this film, and spoiler alert, I'll be getting deep into it because movies, the plot of this film is actually pretty damn cool. You play the part, well, Kurt Russell plays Jack Burton, who is a bus driver, long distance, long haul truck driver. And basically, he is going to San Francisco's Chinatown in order to deliver animal resources and pigs, chickens, ducks, geese, produce to supply the Chinatown there. When he gets there, basically he's going to have his layover, and he gambles with the hero of the story. Make sure I get his name right. Dennis Dunn. And I know what you're going to say, but I thought Jack Burton was the hero of this film. He isn't. Jack Burton is the sidekick. The entire movie is told from the point of view of the sidekick. Jack Burton is the sidekick of the movie. Like, he's the comedic sidekick. He upstages the hero, but he's not the hero of the story. Even though people think that he's the hero, he's not. Jack Burton is not the hero of this story, which is interesting that John Carpenter was able to make a movie where the main character is not the hero of our story. Anyway, so basically, Jack Burton gets to Chinatown. Some shit jumps off. He winds up gambling with his friend Dennis Dunn, who is the hero of the story, who plays Wang Chi, aka Wang. And Wang is the hero of our story. Basically, he's got to go, like, he loses a lot of money, but he's like, well, before I'll pay you, Jack, because I own a restaurant, but before I do that, I'm gonna have to go and pick up my fiance, who's coming from China to California. So he's like, well, I'll follow you. No, wait a second, I know how this goes. I'll drive you there so you can't skimp on the money. When they get there, the fiance is kidnapped, and shit just goes to hell in a handbasket from there. Jack gets pissed off that someone would steal his friend's fiance. It's like, we're gonna go get him back. And so, they go back to Chinatown, and they try to find the girl, but in the middle of trying to find the girl, these two street gangs in Chinatown start fighting, and shit gets real. You know, it's a pretty good cinematic fight scene. The movie has aged a little bit, but it's still, you know, I still enjoy it. It's very violent and just culminating with the arrival of the three storms. These are the three storm gods of Chinese mythology. Now, in this film, they're called rain, wind, and lightning. Or, yeah, rain, wind, and lightning. Rain, thunder, and lightning. But really, in Chinese mythology, they are Suijin, rain, Raijin, thunder, and Raiden, lightning. That's right, this is the first film that you ever see Raiden in, and it's really awesome. It's awesome. So basically, the film culminates with all that shit going on, and it's pretty damn awesome. And the arrival of the villain of our film also. These three dudes are badass, but they're the enforcers, because our primary villain in this story is played by James Hong, who is David Lo Pan. That's right, David Lo Pan. Now, James Hong played a lot of films in the 80s. He was in a lot of films in the 80s. You still see him around now. He's a bit older, but, you know, still plays a good role. And basically, from there, Jack Burton gets freaked out. He runs over Lo Pan, who is a sorcerer and can astrally project himself from point A to point B. He's not quite alive, but not really dead. He's in between life and death. Some weird hocus pocus mumbo jumbo like that. Basically, the point is that he runs him over, but it doesn't kill him. Jack Burton gets freaked the frig out, leaves his truck, and runs away with his friend Wang. Excuse me. Which is, I mean, I'd get freaked out if I ran over a dude and he didn't die and stood up and was shooting lightning and shit out of his head. Basically, Wang's truck gets stolen by the bad rival street gang in this film, and he tries to get his truck back. Eventually, this spirals into a quest to stop David Lo Pan, to kill David Lo Pan, to rescue some damsels in distress, all this cool stuff. So basically, this film has it all. It's got action, it's got adventure, it's got comedy, it's got, you know, a wisecracking character who is our everyman into the film. Every good film in the 80s, every good film that has a supernatural aspect needs your everyman character who can relate what's going on to people who might not be that into supernatural style films. And in this film, it's Kurt Russell's character. He's like, you know, it's like, I don't know, this is like, there's a scene in the film where they get captured by the three storms, or actually just thunder, and he's sitting there, and they're tied to these wheelchairs, and David Lo Pan comes in, and he's like, he's doing the villainous monologue where he's telling what he's gonna do and why he's gonna do it, and Jack Russell's like egging him on. He's like, Jack Burton's like egging him on. He's like, oh well, and become a god. He's like, yes, exactly. Or get a padded, or get a one-way ticket to a padded cell. Whichever comes first. Yeah, and David Lo Pan gets pissed. Basically, this film is great. I don't know why it didn't do well. I'll have to look up what basically came out that dwarfed this film, because it's really good, and it should have made more money. Which really sucks that it didn't make more money. So we'll get into the music of the film and the conclusion after this. Okay then. Music. Once again, the score is written by John Carpenter, because he's apparently really good at that. And it's really good. It fits the film very well. The main theme of the film. If you don't know, John Carpenter writes the themes for a lot of his films. He wrote the theme for Halloween. He wrote the theme for Dark Star. He wrote the theme for Escape from New York. He wrote the theme for The Thing. He wrote the theme for Prince of Darkness. He wrote the theme for They Live, I believe. He wrote the theme for... Basically, John Carpenter's very hands-on. And his themes, I mean, I don't know, I'm not exactly sure about his biography, but I think that he also is kind of musically inclined, which is why he's pretty good at this. So the theme's pretty good. The rest of the movie has relatively generic style films. One of the cool things is that they never try and dummy down the film with like what you see in quite a few films, where if they have an ethnocentric film like with Chinese or Japanese, they try to put Chinese or Japanese style music into it, but it's kind of like talking down to the audience, you know. It's like, you know, like they'll have a Chinese dude come in and they'll have a gong in the background, bong, you know, some shit like that, or it's like, damn, that's kind of low. This one, you know, he went with his own thing and it worked, which is pretty cool. So the music's pretty good. The graphics are pretty good. The special effects are pretty good. They've aged a little bit, but they still are pretty good. And the scene where Thunder blows himself up, it's comedic, but at the same time, it's some Dragon Ball Z shit right there. I mean, literally, it's some Dragon Ball Z shit right there. And if you see this movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. So with that, I'll give my final thoughts and the conclusion after the cut. Okay then, it's time for my final thoughts on the film and the conclusion. My final thoughts are this. This film, despite its despite the fact that it bombed when it came out, has gone on to become a cult hit. I'm pretty sure at this point Fox has made their money back with the video, Blu-ray, and DVD sales, or at least broke even. With that being said, I have this film on Blu-ray, which is how I was able to take clips from it. So that's how I was able to. Thank you. And here's something noteworthy that I saw while watching this film. People like to say that Hollywood has come so far, but this film was, and I'm just gonna contrast and compare. This film was made by John Carpenter, a white guy, and he made a film set in San Francisco, Chinatown. I don't know if it was actually filmed in San Francisco, Chinatown. It probably was a studio backlot, but it was set in San Francisco's Chinatown. He managed to fill it with a lot of well-done Asian actors, noteworthy Asian actors, Asian people almost everywhere. Like, I think 70 to 80% of the cast is Asian, and it works out really well. And yet, you know, a few years ago we had Avatar: The Last Airbender, and like they anglicized everybody, almost everyone in that entire damn film, and it felt like they were talking down to the audience, as it were. And that is kind of annoying to me. That I find that to be a little on the what's the word I'm looking for? I find it to be very what's the word I'm looking for? I find that to be very low class and crass patronizing. It's very patronizing that you would do that. I mean, you watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, you realize it's very Asian. It's a very Asian-inspired series. I mean, the main character is basically a version of the Buddha, for lack of a better term. And these bastards anglicized it. Like, I'm like, why would you do that? And I'm glad the movie bombed. This film didn't deserve to bomb, though, and that's, you know, so, you know, my advice to anyone is to watch this movie. If you live where I live, where you have a lot of, like, film societies and stuff, if they have a showing at a movie theater, go watch it. Buy the DVD, buy the Blu-ray, whatever works for you. And now they've come out, they've made a comic book version continuing the adventures of Jack Burton. So if you get a chance, get that shit, because, you know, we need more Jack Burton. So that's the end of this video. Stay tuned for after this, where I'll be giving plugging some things coming up in the future. Alright, as you can see, this is a two-part review. This first part focused on two films that I love that came out the year I was born. So the first one focused on this film, and the second part will focus on The Golden Child, which I will be uploading either tomorrow or Sunday. So look forward to that. This also, today at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, PM Eastern Standard Time, there will be a review, a BS Busters Episode 2, 2015 edition, Episode 2. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. You can find the link here, or sorry, here. Here. You can find the link here. So that's going to be awesome. Look forward to it. I also am working on the next installment of What WTF Japan, and Resurrection. I'm thinking of resurrecting, initially I was thinking of resurrecting Sonic the Hedgehog, or Soul Calibur, or Jade Empire, but now I'm leaning towards resurrecting Sonic, or whatever, resurrecting Mega Man. So that's what's coming up next.